Ryan claimed to have been a Hollywood actor in the 1930s. Ryan said he had 3 sons. He also remembered other memories of his past. Ryan's mother bought Hollywood books of 1930s. According to information her son had given her, the book were replete with photographs of 1930s Hollywood actors. Ryan checked them out until he found a photograph that he claimed was himself. Dr. Tucker and Ryan's family investigated further and discovered that the man in the first photo was Martin, also known as Marty. Marty was a small, simple actor who worked as a dancer and program director for a while, and actually had 3 sons. What will happen after we die? After we die, will we enter into a new life? Is there really a heaven and a hell? Will reincarnation happen? After death, what will happen to us? Is it possible to start a new life in another body after we die in our present body? What is called a reincarnation? Is the cycle of the reincarnation real? Reincarnation means that our soul never dies, but appears after death in the body of a newborn baby. Your current body is not immortal, but your inner essence and soul has been present in the bodies of different people for thousands of years. Many people believe that since the rise of early humans to the present day, the universe has been circulating in this way. The word reincarnation means to re-enter the flesh. Now, of course, we call it a reincarnation, but its ancient origins date back to ancient Greece, known as the metamorphosis. The word means a rebirth. Many people believe the cycle of reincarnation is an eternal phenomenon that happens times. They believe that a soul can be born in a body of another human being, an animal or plant, and even a supernatural being such as space creatures or demons. In various rituals that believe in reincarnation, this cycle has a direct relationship with karma. Some religions say that if you have done well in this world, after you die and in a new body in which you will be born, good things will happen to you and a good fate awaits you. Some people who believe in reincarnation refer to the endless cycle of reincarnation as samsara, which means a wandering world. The cycle of reincarnation, of course, is not always pleasant and forgiving. Long and continuous suffering, incidentally, is an important part of the cycle. Physical pains, mental suffering, social injustice, and many other problems are obstacles that a reincarnated soul must endure. For example, many of the fears and discomforts that plague us in our current lives are said to belong to the stories of our souls in previous lives. Other groups have held in the same belief in history, like Orphism in ancient Greece. In this ritual, reincarnation is considered a punishment and not a reward. Orpheus believers believed that when they died, they would either rise to the status of a god or return to earth by reincarnation. This cycle continues until their imperfections are completely eliminated and they finally reach the status of God. The strange thing is that some of the sufficient evidence that confirms reincarnation suggests that we suffered a lot of suffering before the life we are in now. Dr. James Tucker is a child psychologist at the University of Virginia School of Medicine. The part about careful evaluation of empirical evidence for the survival of consciousness after death and the separation of mind and brain. Through her work in this area and the publication of several important books, Dr. Tucker has become a reference in a field of children who remember their past lives. That is, children whose strange words and actions indicate that frightening information from their past lives has been transferred to their present life. Maybe they saw someone, maybe they know something, things they may not have learned from the birth and probably have to do with how they died in their previous lives. It has happened many times that these children talk about their birth injuries. For example, a child born with a respiratory problem, and when he talks about his previous life, we realize that several murders stranged him and murdered him. One of Dr. Tucker's most famous cases concerns a boy called Ryan from America who first broke into the news in the mid-2010s. Ryan claimed to have been a Hollywood actor in the 1930s. Ryan's mother also cared about the stories her son was telling because Ryan told his stories in full detail. Ryan said his career in Hollywood was an actor, and even in New York, he was a famous dancer. Ryan said he had 3 sons. He also remembered other memories of his past. Ryan's mother bought Hollywood books of 1930s, according to information her son had given her. The books were replete with photographs of 1930s Hollywood actors. Ryan checked them out until he found a photograph that he claimed was himself. He mentioned a man whose name was George Tush, a Hollywood actor in the 1930s. There was also a real person named George in the photographs, but in the 1930s he was known as George Raft. Many of Ryan's other claims were also corroborated. Before we move on to the rest of Ryan's bizarre and scary claims, I want you to energize us with your likes and comments. If you've enjoyed this video so far, subscribe to the Dark Fact channel to support us. Alright, let's go to Dr. Tucker's room. Dr. Tucker and Ryan's family investigated further and discovered that the man in the first photo was Martin, also known as Marty. Marty was a small, simple actor who worked as a dancer and program director for a while, and actually had 3 sons. Dr. Tucker has conducted many interviews and believes Ryan is not unique. There are thousands of cases similar to Ryan's, and reincarnation is real. Today we know that if you focus enough on something and go all the way to subatomic level and below it, the laws of physics begin to collapse. We know that every theory and belief, however reasonable, we will not fully believe it until we can touch it. We call such illogical but unproven information pseudoscience. Finally, hypnotizing and remembering past lives and works like this are considered pseudoscience and are not scientific. Even though there have been hundreds of claims from different people who have been able to view their past lives in different ways, scientifically this is something that is unbelievable. It is up to you to believe science or believe in reincarnation. Which do you believe in, science or reincarnation?